NAVIE.com. I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's all-free. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver," unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Welcome back to the Matt Walsh Show. It often comes as a surprise to people when I tell them that I do the majority of the cooking in my house. Now, do I cook because I want to challenge gender stereotypes, or do I cook because I'm a sexist and I believe that men make better chefs? Or do I cook simply because I enjoy it and I'm good at it? Theories abound, but nobody can say for sure. Whatever the reason for my cooking, it's partly because I cook so much that I reacted with special horror and took it personally when I read the news this week. The Biden administration wants to confiscate my gas stove, and yours, everyone. The New York Post reports, quote, "The Biden administration is considering a nationwide ban on gas stoves, citing the harmful pollutants released by the appliances," according to a report. The Consumer Product Safety Commission is mulling the action after recent studies showed emissions from devices can cause health and respiratory problems. This is a hidden hazard, CPSC Commissioner Richard Trumka Jr. told the outlet. Any options on the table. Products that can't be made safe can be banned. Reports by groups including the American Chemical Society and New York University Law School's Institute for Policy Integrity found that gas stoves, which are used in 40% of U.S. homes, while the remainder use various forms of electric cookers, emit pollutants like nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, and fine matter at levels deemed unsafe by the Environmental Protection Agency and the World Health Organization. The studies also link gas stoves to respiratory illness, cardiovascular problems, cancer, and other health conditions. More than 12% of childhood asthma cases can be attributed to gas stoves, according to a report published last month by the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health. Not only that, by the way, but AOC, who predictably jumped on the anti-gas stove bandwagon, tweeted that gas stoves, along with giving you cancer and asthma and destroying the planet, can also cause brain damage. And gas stoves aren't the only appliances on the chopping block. States like California and New York have already moved to ban gas heaters. Like anything run on gas must be prohibited, apparently starting with the stoves, what we're being told. Yes, people have been cooking with gas since the 1820s. You may have grown up in houses that only ever had gas stoves. Millions and millions of people have been using gas stoves for decade upon decade without any issue, but now, suddenly, it's a crisis. And people who never mentioned the crisis before, people who never said anything about the fact that gas stoves are giving us tumors and destroying our brains, are all quite certain now that it is happening. And they insist that drastic action be taken in response. Now, none of us from gas stove households ever noticed people being struck down with cancer or losing their minds because of the stove. Everything seemed to be working just fine. There didn't appear to be any issue at all. But there is an issue, it turns out, a very big issue, a deadly issue. People are dying. They are dying. And so we must consent to whatever exorbitant measures the powers that be prescribe. Or not. Here's why, just to summarize, here's why I will not consent to this war on gas stoves. And they will have to pry my gas stove from my cold dead hand, or warm hand, as the case may be. First, there is no compelling evidence for any of the claims they are now making. What they have are a handful of studies funded, usually by activist groups, speculating that gas stoves may have some link, maybe, to some health problems, possibly, perhaps, in theory. Of course, you could conduct a study finding a theoretical link between literally any object or food or activity and any health problem. This is easy to do if you set out with the intention way of finding the link. Second, a big part of the concern is about the supposed environmental danger. CBS News reported recently, gas stoves are contributing more to global warming than previously thought because they constantly leak small amounts of methane even while they're off, a new study has found. The same study also found that home stoves can emit high levels of nitrogen oxides, raising concerns about health and indoor air quality. Even when they are not running, U.S. gas stoves are putting 2.6 million tons of methane in carbon dioxide equivalent units into the air each year. A team of California researchers found in a study published Thursday in the journal Environmental Science and Technology. That's equivalent to the annual amount of greenhouse gases from 500,000 cars, or what the U.S. puts into the air every 3.5 hours. Yes, you're not only killing your children with the gas stove, you're also killing the polar bears and the entire planet with it. But what is the plan here? Okay? If we're supposed to believe that fossil fuels are destroying the planet, what happens when we get rid of the gas stoves and we convert 40 million households over to electric all at once and have increased our electricity usage by that much? Electricity is largely generated by fossil fuels also. So even by the environmentalists' own logic, aren't you simply shifting the problem, not solving it? Third point, gas stoves work. They just simply work. They work far better than electric stoves. They cook more evenly and efficiently. They can be controlled more precisely. An electric stove is fine for like heating up a can of soup or maybe even frying an egg. I wouldn't try to scramble an egg on an electric stove, but you can at least fry one maybe. But that's the extent of its abilities. Most real cooking requires careful temperature control, something that isn't possible on an electric stove. Not only that, but electric stoves are harder to clean. They're more expensive to operate over the course of a year. So, this is yet another example of leftist bureaucrats wanting to take something away that is more affordable and more functional, and which has been working fine for millions of people for many years. And they want to do that in favor of something crappier and more expensive. And they do all of this based on flimsy cherry-picked data compiled by activists who almost always stand to profit somehow from the change they're advocating. This is what left-wing bureaucrats do. They themselves are inefficient and useless, and so they instinctively hate anything that is efficient and useful. They basically want every aspect of our lives to be as haphazard and dysfunctional as the agencies they run. That's essentially the goal here. Fourth, finally, as always, there is the hypocrisy factor. AOC she's saying now that the gas stoves cause brain damage, and yet she has taken Instagram videos in her kitchen where you can clearly see the gas stove in the background. Which, come to think of it, may actually lend some credence to the theory that gas stoves cause brain damage. I mean, it would explain a lot in her case. Anyway, Jill Biden was also photographed in her own kitchen in 2020 with a gas stove. And of course these people all have gas stoves. Gas stoves are better, and the elites obviously prefer the better thing over the inferior thing. They just don't want you to have it. You can make do with your electric stove, you peon. Besides, you're supposed to be eating bugs anyway. You don't need a stove for that. That's the attitude. Which is why we must respond, no, I will not eat the bugs. I will not live in the bog. I will not overcook my chicken stir-fry on an incompetent electric stove. I won't do it. Instead, I will say to those who wage war on the gas stove, you are all cancer. And that'll do it for today. Thanks for listening. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
KSFO San Francisco, KSEN HD2 San Mateo, a Cumulus media station.
Lawmakers upset about Biden docs, Part 2. I'm Carmen Roberts, Fox News. President Biden's aides find more classified documents in a second location, in addition to the ones discovered in November.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre defended her boss.
He believes that classified documents and information should be taken seriously. She takes them seriously.
No word yet on where the latest batch of documents was found or when. Meanwhile, Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley tells Fox he wants this situation handled the same way as when classified documents were found at former President Trump's estate.
The Democrats say they're all for equity. Well, what's equitable here is that there be a special counsel.
The Attorney General has assigned the U.S. Attorney in Chicago to review some of the documents. In Washington, Jill Nato, Fox News.
Flights in the U.S. are mostly back to normal this morning after it appears a corrupt computer file caused a system-wide breakdown late Tuesday and led to chaos for travelers. The FAA grounded temporarily all departing flights. And FlightAware's website shows travelers had to cope with more than 10,000 delays and some 1,300 cancellations. Brian Kohlberger is headed back to court today as he faces charges for the grisly murders of 4 Idaho college students.
As Kohlberger's public defender and her team continue to look at evidence at the crime scene, the mother of victim Ethan Chapin gave an update in a personal message on social media Wednesday, reading in part, "We've met with prosecutors, handled media inquiries, hopefully respectfully, managed, grieved, talked, and continue to try to process our new normal."
Fox's Laura Ingle. And the U.S. and its allies are preparing for another round of sanctions on Russian oil, a step market watchers warn could squeeze global supply. America's listening to Fox News.
Connect to Fox News Audio on the Fox News app. Listen to hear your favorite hosts like Brian Kilmeade, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The voices America trusts. Download it now. From the Fox News Podcast Network.
I'm Ben Domenech, Fox News contributor and editor of the Transom.com daily newsletter, and I'm inviting you to join a conversation every week with the smartest thinkers out there about the issues Americans face and where we're going as a nation. This show will feature deep dive interviews with newsmakers and some of your favorite Fox News analysts. I hope you'll join me as we dive into the fray. It's the Ben Domenech Podcast.
Subscribe and listen now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you download podcasts.
Time's running out for anyone who suffered losses from Hurricane Ian to apply for federal aid.
Today is the deadline to apply for assistance from the Federal Emergency Management Agency for losses and damage brought on by Hurricane Ian, which predominantly struck southwest Florida, but also caused catastrophic flooding closer to Orlando. FEMA helps to facilitate federal disaster loans and other government assistance, including tax credits. Those wanting to get this done can call 1-800-621-FEMA for assistance. In Miami, Evan Brown, Fox News.
Georgia's Brian Kemp is scheduled to be sworn in today for a second term as governor, and there could be a lot of cheers because he's promising across-the-board pay raises for state employees and public school teachers. A big win for gun control advocates in New York, at least for now.
The U.S. Supreme Court gives a thumbs up to an appeals court ruling that allows New York State to keep enforcing new gun control measures while a legal challenge winds its way through lower courts. The Concealed Carry Improvement Act makes it a felony to possess a gun in sensitive areas like houses of worship, stadiums, public transit, parks, and museums, and adds training requirements for concealed carry permits. The High Court ruled in June the state's previous concealed carry restrictions were unconstitutional. CJ Papa, Fox News.
The Biden administration extends the COVID state of emergency that's been in place since January 2020. That after ruling out a number of measures to prepare for another COVID surge, including having medical staff on standby and encouraging Americans to get booster shots. And stocks gained ground as investors bet today's inflation data will lead to smaller interest rate hikes. The Dow rose 269 points. The Nasdaq jumped 189. That's its fourth straight gain. I'm Carmen Roberts, and this is Fox News.
Do you suffer from any type of chronic neck or back pain? Whether it's a bulging or herniated disc, sciatica, spinal stenosis, or even bone-on-bone arthritis. You've probably tried most doctors and get little relief, or are told dangerous medications and surgeries are your only option. Dr. John Filippini, the Danville Disc Doctor,
It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. This is Red Eye Radio.
All across America and around the world, 86690 Red Eye. He is Eric Harley and I'm Jerry McNamara. Welcome and good morning. Thank you for being here. Download our Red Eye Radio app today and listen when and where you choose. If you choose. let's just play some of Corinne Jean-Pierre here from yesterday. All right. Just a session of different audio cuts, all on the classified documents that are now being